For those that don't know what CSI means, I always assume everybody does, but I've learnt that they don't. It's crime scene investigation. CSI Portsmouth has been going, well, it'll be in its fourth year this year, started in 2010. And it's grown enormously. And what I do is I bring crime authors and crime experts and police together in a panel debate. We've got two panel debates, actually, one in the morning and one in the afternoon. So it's a whole day event to debate crime fiction and crime fact. So it's sort of like crime fiction versus crime fact. Interesting to hear from the experts and also to hear how different crime authors approach their work. Yeah. Don't know me and think who's...
Does that help at all? Okay. Sasha?
I take the other view. I think crime fiction allows one to write what the Americans call the state of the nation novel. We may be writing about the dark side of the nation, but I think it's the one genre of fiction where you can do it in a way that it remains very exciting because readers want to know what's going to happen. And my motivation, as I explained before, is that I want to understand. I want to understand people, I want to understand society, I want to understand how the guardians of our safety work and what the stresses on them are, and how we can all get to, this is going to sound unbelievably sort of halo-y, how we can get to a better place, how we can, all of us, make the society we live in more fruitful for all of us.
And do you think crime fiction really has a part to play in that? Because I think fiction, all fiction can really do is make us feel better about ourselves for a short period of time.
Oh, I don't think I could happily live without fiction. Reading is what's kept me going all my life. I think it's a very high calling indeed. Not as high as the police, but pretty high.
Okay, thank you.
Look, you will find, absolutely. You know, it's like the streets of Portsmouth. You know, residents in Hampshire. You know, do you really go out looking for organised crime on a day-to-day basis? No. But it exists there daily, and I think it's a really important point. You know, drugs historically, and I can remember years ago, why are you arresting someone for possession of drugs? Because it puts my crime figures up. You know, that's a long time ago.
Yeah.
It puts my crime figures up. But going back to the point, I think there's a debate we had around, you know, firearms, around harm reduction. What cost is it to society? It's not about the stats coming out of the British Crime Survey. It's around the impact of drug trafficking, firearms trafficking, guns and firearms destined to the streets of the UK, which cause most harm.
On each individual person that it touches, and
Absolutely.
then it goes on and on and on.
Absolutely.
Clear rats out of one area, we go somewhere else.
It goes somewhere else. So it's obviously, it's a never-ending circle, isn't it? Obviously. Tony, did you want to add anything to that? As this colleague of yours,
I think, contrasts are always very good settings for crime novels, as Kerry said, with that sort of written for contrast. And here with the geographical contrast, I find the urban landscape contrasting with the Isle of Wight landscape there, the hills, the countryside, is a good contrast. And I think, that's one of the things that we've been talking today about, the contrast between crime fiction and crime fact, which has come to light quite a bit as well. So, good. Questions? Anybody else? Behind the crime, and look at what I think it always is with certainly with crime novels is what motivates that person to have committed that crime. You can't have serial killers in every novel, and you can't have the same motive in every novel. So you do have to have a number of different motives, and that comes from, as you said, with the background, the upbringing, and also their personality. I'm quite interested in personality profiling and personality types. And just quickly touching on that, I was listening to these two guys at the end here talking before we started the panel. And you were talking about personality changes in, what was it, cocaine? Yeah. Tell us a little bit about, what's the personality change when someone takes cocaine?
Long-term cocaine users suffer severe paranoia. In my informant handling days of dealing with informants who are crack cocaine and cocaine addicts. They're forever looking over their shoulder, seeing if anybody's about. They'll be all right here. The paranoia becomes so over controlling of their whole life. It's just one of the side effects of cocaine issues, unfortunately. Heroin addicts, their whole life, when you become addicted to heroin, nothing else in the world matters to you apart from the next fix. Your family goes out the window, your personal hygiene goes out the window, your whole mindset is on the next fix of heroin, and then how you get the money to get that fix.
And that's the crime.
And that's where the serious acquisitive crime, the street robberies, the bulk shopliftings, the theft from motor vehicles.
And of course the cocaine, the change of personality in cocaine, the paranoia can also lead to somebody thinking they're being persecuted and therefore actually motivate, lead to a murder or something. Yeah, Alex.
Here in the media.
We hear in the media a lot about the spiking of drinks, and in particular women who are subsequently raped when they do not know anything about it at all. But also, it's a twofold question. It's also about the fact that the conviction rate for rape remains so low. If you care to comment.
In terms of drink spiking, it's much less frequent than you think, and the publicity in the press, I think, was an overreaction to an issue which certainly did exist, but was designed to help protect people. But I think people saw these warnings and had far too much to drink and assumed that the drink was spiked. In reality, because I've had hundreds of these cases and most of them are negative for everything except alcohol. So in reality, it doesn't happen very frequently. Now, there are some well publicised cases where it has happened, and we have found substances present in the drink, and it has been going on for years, but the publicity surrounding it generated a lot of heat and not much, the reality was that the chances of something happening were very low. Alcohol is the traditional date rape substance anyway. As everyone I think knows, in a few drinks you lose inhibitions, you start to lose your memory. So with a large amount of alcohol you lose your memory anyway. So you don't need additional substances in the drink to cause problems.
My wife